We're live, everybody! Woo!
Oh God, I hadn't finished adjusting my lights.
Welcome to the Limited Night Live Podcast, and I forgot to change it to a 17 on the thing. Woo! Anyways, so yeah, I'm your host Kevin, and today with me I have two very beautiful gentlemen with me. I have Adam, who's not in frame.
Hello.
There he is. And then I got James, who's always in frame because he's a beautiful man.
Hello.
And he's getting drunk. Yeah.
I'm getting drunk. It's only 2 beers.
No Tim tonight. So
because he's a dumb loser.
Tim is stagging right now, man.
Yeah. So we no rules. The only rule is that there should be no rules. So yeah.
Hey guys, it's the Glasses Gang. We're all here.
Yeah, we're intel. Get
those losers with perfect eyes, man.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck 20/20 vision.
Yeah, only
right.
Losers have 20/20 vision. Because I mean, we're all intellectuals here.
Like us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is it always the smart people that gotta be impaired? We're supposed to be running the world. God damn it. No, I'm not an intellectual.
I don't need these glasses holding us back.
I'm far from it. I was reading this comment thread. It was just like some guy posted like he was just talking about how it was like this person identifies as a 13-year-old, and then this person, and it was like Bill Nye, and it was like he identifies as a scientist. I'm like, excuse me.
Are you? I mean, he does. He's Bill Nye the Science Guy, right? I mean,
yeah, but
I don't think I know it's been said, but I don't think he actually has like a scientific degree of any kind, right?
He has a degree in engineering, but like that doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that doesn't matter.
That's a type of
like
science.
there's always the thing that like what's his name, Rolf or Dolph Lundgren. That was like Rolf Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren has like way more scientific achievements than Bill Nye actually does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
like, he has like a fucking PhD and whatever.
He's surprisingly intelligent, Dolph Lundgren.
But does he have his own? Does he have his own TV show where they shout his name in the intro?
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking Jack.
Lundgren Science.
Look at him.
Yeah,
he's smart and he's like the perfect specimen.
But Bill Nye gets me hyped about science. It's true.
Science rules.
Science rules. I was thinking about that, like, because that was like the best shit when you walk in class at like, you know, when you were in like, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade or even probably younger than that, and you just like you're like, teacher's like, all right, we're watching Bill Nye today, and you're like, fuck yes, Bill Nye. I don't know. I guess
never been a thing over here. Bill Nye.
Relate,
I can't relate because he's not really a thing over here. Like, we know of him, but he's not on TV. So, like, we know the myth. It's like, it's like it's like a myth, the man, the legend of Bill Nye.
Damn.
I'm sorry you missed out.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Hey, look, I had the Teletubbies, right? It was great.
No, did they teach you about science? All they did was rub their tummies.
They did. They taught me about how a TV can be implanted in a man's stomach, Kevin.
What about Tubby Custard, though? That's what they really taught you about.
Tubby Custard.
I mean...
Do you know what's worrying, actually? I was born way before the Teletubbies, so I didn't watch that. I watched that when I was in my teens.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
The show I always used to watch, even up until like the middle of high school, was Arthur. I don't know. That's on our public access channel. Is Arthur. And I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. It's just great. It's a good show for kids, you know.
Can I bring something up here?
Oh snap! Yeah.
Okay, so I want to point out that like 3 to 4 podcasts ago, I was talking about, man, we're having earthquakes in Mexico, shit's on fire, and there's a hurricane. And then 3 to 4 weeks later, there's another earthquake in Mexico, more shit's on fire, and we have another hurricane coming through the Atlantic. Like a whole month later, we're still dealing with this.
We're gonna die, everybody.
I just think that it's crazy because it's like a completely different occurrences for each one of those events, and it's like, whoa,
dude. It's like 2012 with what's his name, I can't remember.
Oh my god, the Mayans were only 5 years off on their calendar.
Their math was just wrong a little bit. Actually, the world is
close.
The world is supposed to end tomorrow, so.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what some people are saying.
Who?
According to
people say that every day, Kevin. It doesn't make it true.
Exactly. No, but that's
like
the
that
thing.
Crazy dude outside the White House who for 20 years has been going, the world's ending.
It's the Bible experts. That's what they said. They're like, yep, it's happening. We said this before hundreds of thousands of times, but it's happening for real this time.
Yeah, it's like this. Well, yeah, and you know what? They're all gonna be so fucking smug when it actually does happen too.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't count. You made like 800 predictions.
Yeah,
like they're like, world's ending tomorrow. Oh, it didn't end. It's ending tomorrow. Oh, it didn't end. You could say it every single day, and then when it finally does, you're like, I told you so. And it's like, well, you said it every day for 8 years. I guess it happened, but
God,
I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, how can anybody even take those sorts of things seriously? Like,
because the
world's gonna end.
People in general are pretty stupid, so that's probably why. When you get a collective of stupid together, they could surprisingly do like decent things in the sense of, you know, they can think. All their brain cells that they gather together, and they're able to stump other stupid people for at least a while. So
yeah.
But speaking of how the world's gonna end, probably gonna be nukes, right?
Ooh,
James wanted to.
Yeah, I have a question about nukes because, as you no doubt are aware, Kevin's trying to kill us. No, wait, sorry, that's not right.
I'm gonna kill you. I have the nukes.
I've just compared Kevin to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is trying to kill us, as is Kim Jong fucking crazy face.
Poon. Got him.
Now my question is this: I don't care about the politics of that. We're not a political podcast, so we're not going to go into it. What I do have a question of, though, because it prompted a question in my mind today: if tomorrow, let's say you wake up, lunchtime, you're having a nice sandwich, suddenly you see on the news that the nuclear bombs are coming, you have 10 minutes to do something, what are you going to do? That's my question for you.
Let's see.
That's a hard one, but I guess to backtrack to question, the nuclear bombs are you talking about from North Korea or from who? This really depends because it's from.
Well, I think like the theory is they're right. That
I get your main question is if the world was gonna end in 10 minutes, what would you do?
I mean, pretty much, but I think the point is that but I know, but everyone's on edge because of North Korea, so I was making it currently relevant, Adam.
Oh, okay.
Well,
because North Korea has like one,
though, right?
And barely reached the U.S.
Yeah, I think I would load up Boulevard of Smoke and Cheese 5 times and watch that. That's what I would do. That's how I'd spend my last 10 minutes on Earth.
I don't know. I'd probably be like, I never really played Fallout 4 all that much. Maybe I should try and squeeze in the last couple of 10 minutes here.
Let me study up.
Because this is the question essentially, or like why I asked it, because my mum, where I live, we're like 15-minute drive from RAF High Command, which is the Royal Air Force, in case you know what the RAF is, like their main base where all the, you know, top brass live, all that stuff. So theoretically, it's exactly a target for like any nuclear missile in the entire world, because it will cripple our air force if they blow it up. So my mum has always said if she found out a nuke was coming, she would get in a car and she would drive towards the base. And I'm like, why? And she'd go, well, because then I'd die quicker. She's like, I'm going to die anyway. I'd be, like, dead quicker. And I'm like, could you not just drive the other way and hope to survive? Why would you drive towards the nuclear missile?
I think,
I mean, I get her point. She doesn't want to die from radiation, but
yeah,
here's the problem, right? Because anybody who wants to nuke the U.S., like Los Angeles, like if North Korea decided they wanted to go for it, Los Angeles is probably their best bet. Either that or Alaska. But who wants to nuke Alaska because nobody cares about Alaska? So it's not, because they don't have missiles that'll be able to cross the country at all. Kevin is probably even safe, in fact, because I don't know that they could even get that far. They'd be stretching it to get to the mainland U.S. as it is.
Yeah.
And even then, like, what do they have? Like one missile, one nuclear missile, with the amount of anti-nuclear missiles that we have, like the ones that could shoot them down over the Pacific. And then to counter that, if they did strike the mainland, fast North Korea would turn South Korea into an island after that. Like, like they just like North Korea would be a crater.
It's
instantly.
True.
It's like, okay, well, we're not dealing with you anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's gonna happen because I think North Korea knows if that they have no chance if they try to. They have
no chance of winning. That's the point. It's like they can't win this. I think the nukes that they have aren't stopping anybody from trying to come in and remove Kim Jong-un
are they
from power.
crazy enough to do it anyway? That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
are
I
they
guess
crazy enough
everyone
to do
thinks everyone thinks Kim Jong-un is like stupid. Like, I don't know that he's necessarily a stupid person because he's keeping himself in power here. I mean, he's an asshole. Don't get me wrong, but that's like saying Adolf Hitler was like the stupidest person in the world. Like, I mean, I guess he did like fuck up a huge operation at one point. He's an asshole. He's not stupid. That's my point.
Adam, Hitler had some good ideas.
That's not even close to what I said. I said he's not an idiot. I said he's
wow.
not stupid. He's
Adam, way to be a Nazi, right?
Hitler wasn't stupid. You are a Nazi.
God, it's PewDiePie all over again. Adam's turning to
It's
PewDiePie.
funny. If you said that to certain people, they would call you a Nazi straight out, for real, no joke.
I know they would. That's the point. In our country right now, if you said something like Hitler isn't stupid, you're a Nazi. You're a Nazi. It's all over.
Maybe the nuke should come for us.
Not everybody, but there are some people out there.
Sorry, Adam.
No, there are people in this country who would say that, but go on.
The other question is, and I saw a great meme on this, which is why I think it's funny, because it was a really well targeted meme, but everybody who survives an apocalypse thinks they're gonna do really well. So like all the gamers in the world right now are sitting there going, it doesn't matter. I played Fallout 4. I'll just collect them bottle caps. I'll cobble together a pipe rifle. And super mutants got nothing on me. Nothing. And then what'll actually happen is they'll be like this. The whole time.
Accurate.
Yeah. And it's like the best. The meme was a picture of Rick and Daryl, is it, from Walking Dead, like the crossbow dude from Walking Dead.
Yeah, we know.
Like surrounded by zombies, really cool and collectedly, like just standing there with guns, like gangland style, almost shooting these zombies. And then it was like, what gamers think they'll be like in an apocalypse? And then down below it was just like a bunch of screaming children running out of a door, and it was like, what they'll actually be like.
Here's why I think I and almost anybody in the country would be able to survive a zombie apocalypse like that in The Walking Dead. See how fucking slow those zombies move?
Yeah.
You just walk in the other direction. Okay.
Well, like, you don't even have to be bothered. Said it in The Walking Dead, right? In the latest episode.
You have said this numerous times because it's fucking stupid. They walk at like 2 miles an hour after you. Like, if I just jog, you'll never catch me. You realize that, right?
Just go to Alaska. Just live in Alaska and you'll be fine.
Just to show you stream as well. That's the size of the beer stream. Size of my head.
Oh boy.
Go on now, though.
There's the zombies from like 28 days later. Then yeah, I'm fucked.
Or the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Like Walking Dead movies. I'm confident that would never even be an issue because like the military would just shut it down immediately. Like, I mean, okay, I guess you just deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think that'll ever happen? Do you think someone will just create some virus that goes mentally crazy and starts turning people into, like, not dead people, but, like, walking, killing machines?
Maybe.
Like a zombie. But, like, brain-dead people.
I've played Plague Inc. enough times.
Well, the problem, I think, Adam, is, well, like, more likely it'll probably become airborne at some point. So, then you're probably fucked.
No, I know that. I mean, like, if it was exactly like The Walking Dead, like, where it's you only turn into a zombie once you die, then, yeah. Like, I'm saying, if it's like The Walking Dead in the TV show, which I really wish they would still show how they even let this outbreak start to begin with. I think the closest they ever got to that was the spin-off show, which was, like, Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah. Which sucks ass, by the way. It was actually kind of decent in the beginning, but it's terrible now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's like, because it's like they go back like the show like goes back to like the start.
I've seen it.
I don't know if anybody. Yeah. Basically, to explain, I don't know if James has seen it or anybody.
I've not seen it, but I know it exists. I've not seen it though.
So the premise of it is they go back to like.
All right, we're back, ladies and gents. Sorry about that. We don't I don't know. I think I might be having some internet problems, so I'm not sure if we really fixed it or not, but we're going to go ahead and just kind of roll with it. So sorry for any, inconvenience or anything like that. And sorry if it keeps buffering, but I really probably going to have to fix it for the next one. So let's just get back into our little discussions. What were we talking about? I don't even remember.
Dialect.
Oh yeah. We're talking about random shit. I don't know.
So we were talking about like the dialect of like they call them walkers and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was gonna bring up the point that there's actually a cool thing. There's a thing I did with Kevin, and it's like a USA dialect map. Since the U.S. is so big and expansive that like different parts of the country have like different dialect, and I'm sure you sort of have that too. I know you have different accents. But I don't know if, like, you guys...
there's a lot of different dialects.
I don't know if you guys would call something, like, in, like, say, like, the North or whatever, if you guys would say, like, one thing for something, and then in the South you would say something else.
Yeah, there's that.
For you guys.
It's stuff like, but it's all weird stuff that makes no sense. Like, in some areas they call potatoes tatties.
What?
Okay.
Which it has no logical reason why they would call them that, but like I think it's mainly in the north. They're like, oh yeah, I have some tatties. It's like just call them potatoes, dude. What the hell? Yeah, but yeah, there's stuff like that. David be able to tell you more because he lives up there. But I know there's a lot of northern differences in Scotland as well.
Anyway, the point I was gonna bring up about that was that what's it called? There's the map that we had. It's a thing that like you take a quiz and it's like, what word would you use for, and it like describes something and then you answer whatever, and like it would be like 20 something questions and it'd be like, all right, you live here, and it was actually like really accurate because like I got like smack dab right in the middle of Southern California, and I think Kevin, did you get Nevada or Missouri? I don't remember. I think you got Nevada, right?
I know. Actually, I think I got Missouri, or it was like somewhere.
Because I know you lived.
Don't you live in Nevada?
Missouri.
I live in Nevada now.
He does now, but he lived in Missouri for like since how long?
11 years. Basically, my like adolescence. Basically, most of my adolescence, I lived in Missouri.
It's all like little vocal trait differences. Like it's like you guys were having a go at me yesterday on the game stream because I don't pronounce ambulance right, apparently. And
yeah, you don't.
It's ambulance.
Have you? Yeah, I know, but we're not going to go into Adam. But the point is, like, because I live in Buckinghamshire, and in Buckinghamshire there's like two things we do a lot, which is drop the letter H all the time. So instead of saying I'm going home, I'll go I'm going home. They always drop H's. It's just a regional thing. But if you go to like, I don't know, 2 counties over, they don't do that. So yeah, there's like regional dialects like that, but obviously, as you say, we're like a lot smaller country, so there's not quite as probably as drastic a change as you might get in the US, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have some pretty like diverse speaking. Like I know, like, well, obviously in the Midwest and like the South, it's usually like you get that classic Southern accent. I can't do it. I'm not even gonna try. But then also like up north, you have that like Minnesotan accent. Oh, don't you know? And yeah, and then over in like Chicago and like also like kind of New York, you get that I'm walking here. And then everybody on the north and everybody on the West Coast is just sounds like a douchebag. So there you go.
I know. By the way, Shadow says the buffering is back.
Yeah, I don't know I don't think I can fix it right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll carry on. Sorry, everybody, but yeah, we'll carry on because it's either that or we don't do a podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
it will be back up on record though.
We could
Yeah.
implement some sort of title, The Great Buffer Debate.
The Great Buffer Debate.
Or something.
Yeah, the Great Buffering.
Buffering, is it
Think
bad?
of the buffering as the fourth person on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
I think it might help to
actually.
it might actually help to like pause the stream for like a couple minutes. I know that's kind of a lame thing to do because it won't be live, but I mean, if you want to have it stable,
with YouTube's live streaming, it's barely live anyway. It's like almost fair. 40 seconds. Like especially compared to Twitch, like it's such a delay on the YouTube streaming that it's like.
What's weird about it is that some games are really like when we do the games, some games are a lot worse than others, which makes no sense because the input is exactly the same. Like you're shoving all the data into the same buffer. So why would playing, say, PUBG cause more delay than playing, say, Dead by Daylight? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Because it still takes the same amount of data, you know?
Yeah, but maybe it also relies on, like hardware, you know, if the hardware is taking up more power to run the game, maybe that has some kind of factor. I don't know. I'm not no computer engineer. I don't work on the
Do you know who we need?
servers.
Richard. Yeah, we need get Richard on the phone.
Richard.
Somebody tweeted him. I don't even know if he has Twitter.
Who knows?
Actually,
maybe his baby has Twitter. Tweet the baby. Relay. Oh man. So something I kind of wanted to bring up. Just I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about it last night because I was watching The Warriors. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
Oh, that's a great film.
Okay, James has. I don't know if Adam has. So basically, Adam.
Oh no, I haven't.
So it's about this
If
gang.
it wasn't for the fact I can't reposition my camera, I'd show you on my shelf, Kevin. But unfortunately, my camera will not reposition back, so I can't.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's there.
Yeah, it's there. I believe you. But so basically, Adam, it's this movie about the this gang in New York. They go to this like big meeting like with a bunch of gangs. And like they're basically the guy Cyrus. He's like, "Can you count, suckers?" And he like wants to unify all the gangs, but he ends up getting shot by somebody, and then the Warriors get blamed. So basically, they have to make their way back to Coney, which is their home turf, and then but every gang is out to get them because they think that they shot Cyrus. It's a pretty good flick. And it's, you know,
Can I just say as well, really underrated game as well. They made
Rockstar made that game.
Really good. Yeah, it was a Rockstar thing, wasn't it? But really good game, and nobody played it. Really sad. It's a really good game.
But anyways, the point I wanted to make was, I don't know what it is about movies from like the 70s and the 80s that just kind of invokes this like they just feel like so much better, even though they don't look as good as movies today. They just feel like they're better to me anyways. I mean, obviously there are some exceptions here and there, but usually I think, and I was thinking about it too, the reason maybe was because since film then was still kind of like a new medium in the sense of, because there were a lot of those Adam, you might know some about this because they might have talked about this in school, but like they had that, I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically like they basically just censored like what you were allowed to actually show in a movie. Like you couldn't show like there were my mom was telling me about this, like back in the day, like on TV show you couldn't really show like a couple in a bed. Like they either had to be in separate beds or like one of them had to have like 1 foot on the ground, like outside of the bed for it to count. It's so weird.
They're not having sex. He's got his foot on the ground.
Yeah, but basically, it's just like there was a lot of moral outrage because people were like, "Oh, these, it's gonna poison society," but obviously didn't do that. But I think the reason. Go on. You can interject, Adam.
Well, you go on because this is my thing, sort of like off of that. But
okay. But yeah,
you finish up.
So basically, I think the point is since that was more or less kind of like the golden age of movies. That's probably why we at least why I think that it's probably like one of the best times for movies, just because
I mean the golden age is usually considered like the 30s, 40s, and 50s almost though.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's when it was first becoming a thing.
My golden age.
Well, that's when sound and color were brought in. Movies have been around since it depends what you classify movies as, but like if you classify them as like anything that's like on film, pretty much, you could even say the late 1800s.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But
yeah. I meant more as in like it's like I guess it's more like a renaissance of film.
Yeah.
What I like about films is because unlike you two, I've grown up in like the 80s, then the 90s, and obviously now the noughties.
The noughties.
So and there was like this kind of things like in the 80s. In the 80s, films did a lot more like, I don't know whether they would say they took more risks, but there was a lot more kind of like risque topics. Like they weren't so worried about kind of violence in it. Like stuff could be more violent that. Then in the 90s, they got super serious about it, and they're like, Spider-Man is a 12. It must only be seen by people over 12. And it's like, all right, calm down.
They have the weird rating system where they actually go by their
and there was like a sort of 5 or 6 year period at least where that was the case, and then it hit the 2000s, and they're like, do you know what? Our kids are fucked up anyway. Let them see what they want. And now, like, there's some films that are like rated like PG over here. I don't know what that is equivalent in America, but like parental guidance, that stands for.
Well, give me an example. Give me an example of a movie that's PG over there.
Like PG film would be like the Step Up movie franchise, like the dancing films. They're PG because they show sexual things.
That'd be like PG-13, basically, where it would be.
I think the kind of problem with PG-13 is that a lot of the times it's supposed to be almost pushing the envelope of PG, right? Like that's what it was originally made for. But now it almost seems like movies instead would rather make R-rated movies and then use PG-13 to hold them back. Like it's PG-13 movies are movies holding back from being what they're supposed to be, which is R-rated.
Yeah.
Which is why when people see a lot of PG-13 horror movies, they're like, that's gonna be dumb. Even though I've seen a couple that are kind of good. Like they're like, oh, like why? It's like I don't know. A lot of them seem like they're like, just fucking push it to R and it would be better. Like stop fucking holding back.
Well, it's because companies are like
right. Well, it's money.
Yeah,
it's always money.
Yeah, it's always money.
That's the whole reason.
If they can get more seats, people in seats.
Right.
Just by
the thing is though, to prove my point of ratings, you see, I'm just looking at my DVD wall here. And I've got like Mission Impossible, like 1, 2, 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation. Okay, so that's like 5 films, yeah.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible 1 is a PG. Mission Impossible 2 they went to a 15 rating, but that's no worse than Mission Impossible 1, really, is it? I mean, I don't think it is. And then when it got to Mission Impossible 3, they went back down to a 12. Which makes no sense, because those films to me are almost identical in terms of the amount of violence in them and the topics that they cover. I don't know, like...
Maybe somebody said
so many weird ratings things like that, I don't get it.
Maybe they said more bad words in that one. I don't know.
You know what? That's what I love about video games, though, is that, like they're like, with movies, it's like, they're like, oh... It's got to be PG-13 unless like they know what they're doing and they're like, yeah, make it R. With I don't even remember the last time I saw a fucking game that was rated T.
Or
I
E.
don't remember.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
You see E a lot, not a lot, but you see E, E10, and R, or not R, M. But you never see T.
Actually, I think Destiny 2 is a T. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
That's kind of rare, though, because it's like, you never see that old.
I've just started looking at DVDs now, I'm sorry, but like, I'm really, like, I'm looking at this, and Crocodile Dundee is rated 15, right?
Yeah.
What is in that film that ranks that? But Batman is a 12.
Which Batman?
Like, there's way more violence in Batman where he's pummeling the shit out of the Joker than there is in fucking Crocodile Dundee.
Maybe there's some sexual themes in Crocodile Dundee. I don't know.
Because he pulls out the knife, then he goes, "That's not a knife. This is a knife." Then pulls out like the giant.
Oh yeah, you guys aren't allowed to have knives, so that's maybe why. Can't butter.
I think the big reason why what's it called? Why like video games are like okay with just being M is because you see how much fucking money GTA 5 made. I mean, I know that's not the thing that influenced it, but that's one of many examples. That's like, didn't like GTA 5? It was like the fastest ever entertainment property to reach $1 billion. Fast. It was like it broke a shit ton of records. I was looking into this.
Yeah, something like that.
That's like, and like think about it like. even like 15 years ago, if you ever thought like video games would ever be bigger than movies, almost, people would say you're crazy. But it's like, I don't know. Where do you stand on that? Which business or like which industry do you think is bigger at this point?
I still think it's movies for one reason. It's because of the way that movies work in the sense of like the foreign and domestic. You know how that works. Basically, like a movie over here that maybe doesn't too well probably would could sell like so much in China just because obviously there's more people there and they have different tastes in regards to movies. And I think that's kind of the only real reason why maybe movies might be bigger, just because I feel like anybody can really watch a movie. I mean, anybody can play a game, but usually people, I think, are more apt, like the older generation is more apt to just watch a movie than to pick up a controller and try to learn how to play a game. Even if like that game is entertaining or very heavily story based, I still feel like
See, that's the thing. You're touching on exactly my thought, which is that I agree with you that movies are bigger in terms of public perception.
Yeah.
Because like everyone knows about a film, like as you say, they're released like all over the world. Fast and Furious or something, it's in every country in the entire world.
Yeah.
Translated and all the rest of it. So, like, from that perspective, it's more mass media friendly, but I reckon there's more money in the games industry in terms of their production budgets and things like that. Because, like, AAA games, like, what's the budget on that? It must be, 4 times what the cost of a movie is? 5 times?
I mean,
I think you'd actually be surprised by how close it is, at least in terms of big budget movies versus...
Maybe, yeah.
AAA. But here's my thought process on it. I think a lot of times movies make more back on average than video games do, but I think video games have a higher ceiling than movies do. Like I'll just bring up GTA again. Like, are you like, I don't even know that has any movie ever made $1 billion on opening weekend?
I
don't know. Let me look it up actually, because I don't want to sound stupid about that. But
do you know what the thing is though? Like, and I think it was mentioned on other podcasts I've listened to, and it's entirely valid, which is that the reason that, like, it's the same reason you'll never get, or you'll really struggle to get, like, a super good computer game-based movie. It's like Assassin's Creed or all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's simply because the medium of games are so immersive. Like, if you think about it, when we're playing PUBG, for example, because we obviously play that a lot, we're, like, super into playing our little character there. Like, they don't have a name. It's just us.
Yeah.
But you could never translate any of that stuff into a movie. Like, you couldn't make a Fallout movie because people were just... You could set a movie in that world easily enough because the world exists, but you could never capture the same magic because the whole thing about that game is being immersed into that world yourself, and you'll never be able to do that by just watching the screen without playing it. It's exactly why Assassin's Creed failed, because the whole thing about Assassin's Creed is when you first come into that Animus...
You are the assassin. You're the person.
Yeah, well, when you first get the Animus, the first thing you do is walk into a town, don't you? And it looks like it's alive and it's busted in, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in, like, whatever country, surrounded by all these people. I'm in Italy, I'm Ezio Auditore.
Before you get to your point, Kevin, I just want to bring up that the highest grossing opening box office weekend of all time, as of right now, is Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. It made $247 million opening weekend.
Wow.
Oh, is that it? Wow.
Yeah. Well, when we say is that it, that's a fuck ton of money.
Well, I think. I think the reason why though is because obviously when a movie comes out, people have to go to the theater and they have to actually go out and sit there and watch it for 2 hours. With a game, nowadays you can just preload it on your console or your PC, and then there you go. It's much more readily available.
On the first, in its first day of release, GTA 5 pulled in $800 million in sales, besting the total its predecessor brought in across the first week by a wide gap. By the end of the third day in stores, which would be like the opening weekend, because most games come out on like Tuesdays or whatever, the game had passed $1 billion in sales. But you also have to keep in mind that it's cheaper to go. A movie ticket is like 1/5 of what a game costs. Like GTA 5 made $1 billion in the first 3 days, but it's $60, whereas a ticket to Force Awakens is like $12.
Here's the question for you, though, and this is leading on from that GTA thing, right? If that made $1 billion in the opening weekend of GTA, how much will Red Dead make? Because people are super into Red Dead.
That reminds me. So, the Rockstar Twitter recently just posted it was an image with a date that just said it was for the 28th of this month. So there's probably gonna drop a new trailer. So that's pretty exciting.
Apparently, it's been rumored to be delayed till April next year, though, right?
Yeah, like, no, they already confirmed that it's not gonna come out this year. It's coming out next year. But what I was gonna
that's like a rare occurrence for them. They don't normally announce a game till they know it's ready to release.
They did that with GTA though. GTA 5. They pushed it back.
Did it get delayed?
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember the online.
It was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out in spring of 2013, but then they pushed it back to the fall.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot that, but fair enough.
But anyways, so my point I was gonna make, it was not really a point. It was just kind of an interjection and an interesting thought. I think is when virtual reality gets good enough, to the point where like it could be utilized. I'm just waiting for the moment where they blur the line between a movie and a game, and basically, you go and you have this experience. Do you think that potentially virtual reality could replace movies at some point in life? No.
I don't think it will replace them. I think it can be competing with them or working with them, like, depending on, like, I think they'll make movies for virtual reality. And I think eventually at some point it'll probably be bigger than movies. Yeah. But I don't think it'll ever necessarily completely replace movies for the fact that sometimes you don't want to strap into the gear.
Yeah. See, that's really interesting because
to watch a movie or something.
That's really interesting because personally, I think that VR is going to die and AR will take over. I think VR is slowly dying. I don't think there's... Well, maybe that's just from a gaming perspective, because I guess that's where my loyalties lie. But
I think people are comparing AR and VR too much to each other when really they would be used for separate things. Like, think about VR. That would be you'd be in your house with the goggles on in your space with all that sort of stuff, and be doing whatever you are with VR. I think AR, that's more like obviously real world capabilities. Like, I'm honestly surprised Google Glass failed, other than the fact that it looked really fucking stupid.
And wasn't it really expensive too? Like, wasn't it like...
Yeah. I feel like Google Glass was too early. That's its problem. It came too early. Phrasing.
Yeah, I think gaming-wise, I can't see VR making it. Maybe you might be right. Like, for other things, sure. But I think gaming-wise, it won't make it.
I'm trying to think about how you would do AR in video games. I know how you can. I had actually the Nintendo 3DS that had some AR cards that you would put on a table, and then you'd face the camera at it, and you'd be flying around like a little ship, and on the table it would have the bad guy would scan from the card, and it would you'd have to fight whenever was on your table or whatever.
I'll be honest, I think AR for games might not work either. Like, I view AR as very much a more utilitarian function. So if you want to go to a restaurant, you'll tap it into your phone, and you'll hold your phone up, and it will lay a line on the pavement to go where you've got to go, so that people are not going, oh, I don't know what street it's on anymore, or where do I go for that? That's where I see AR. That's exactly gaming-wise, I don't see either really being used, to be honest. I think
VR is going to only get bigger from here, and I think it's going to stay around for a long time. I think the thing is, it's going to just be like VR movies. I don't think it's ever going to completely overtake video games as they are now, because again, people just want to sometimes... that's why I don't think consoles are ever going to go away either, because you just sit down... Some people just want to sit down, put a disc into the tray, and sit on the couch and play a game.
Yeah,
I don't think it's ever going to go away. VR is going to be around either for a long time or forever, probably, because people, it's a different thing almost. It's a different experience. I don't think it's going to be a fad that dies out. I think it's going to be a thing that, it's only going to get more immersive from here. New technologies will only make it better. So I don't see, if it goes away, it's going to be a long time before it goes away, but it'll just keep getting better.
I'll tell you what my problem with VR is, though, right? And I agree. I admit this is an entirely personal problem, but I think it's a problem for a lot of people. Ignore the price and stuff, because that's always going to be a problem until it gets cheaper. But the problem more is like the space it requires to operate it in its current form. Like, I don't know, it's maybe not such a big problem because I know I'm going to stereotype you all here. I know in America you guys have a lot more space, which means your houses are bigger than they are here. But like my house is like a 4-bedroom detached house. If I wanted VR in this house, I'd have to dedicate an entire room to only that because there's no way I could put it in anywhere else and have it actually like vaguely be like a big enough room. And even then, I don't think I'd have the space to even like swing around properly in this, like full arm stretch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I can't I want to get it. I'm really interested in VR because I just want to experience what it's like, but I just don't think it'll ever work for the environment I live in.
Do you have a what's it called? You have a Samsung phone, right?
Yeah, I got a Galaxy.
Do you ever think about
You could have the VR goggles for those.
Yeah, I have them actually, and they don't really require.
My brother has them.
They're more or less just kind of like
they're
like a stepping stone to VR, more or less. Like it's not as like engaging as say like the Vive or the Oculus, but it's a good. I mean, it's powered by Oculus technology, so.
Yes.
James.
I don't know why I just turned my head to look at you. I just went, yes, Adam.
Taking up too much space. New industry, VR studios. You want to go play VR? You want to play VR games? You just go down. I know they used to have. They used to have like studios. I remember when I was in like 5th or 6th grade. This was like before everybody I knew had Xbox Live. In fact, I think I had just gotten Xbox Live. But there was a place, I forgot what it was called, but you could go there and like they'd have a bunch of like Xbox 360s and PS3s all set up.
Yeah.
And like also gaming PCs all set up, but like you would just pay to for like an hour or two. And it was like 5th or 6th grade, so we were all pretty young, but like somebody had a birthday party there and we'd all just go and play games together.
Yeah.
Like they'd rent the place out. And that place went out of business because it's like, well, now everybody has their own console and they can, or PC or whatever, and they can play.
The VR booth thing already exists. Like I went on a holiday end of last year. It would have been now. The holiday, we stayed in like a holiday park. Like I don't know if you know what Butlins is. I don't know if that exists where you are, but Google it if you don't. It's basically like a sort of static caravan park where you will like have like a swimming pool and loads of facilities kind of on site. And we stayed somewhere like that. And they had a VR room at the front of the building, so you had to book, but you could do whatever you wanted on a Vive for like a booked period of time. So you could be like, I want a 3-hour slot, so I want 3 hours on the Vive. And then there was just like a dude and a woman who put the headset on you, adjusted it all to make sure it was right, and then they're just like, fill your boots, what do you want to play? And that was it.
Yeah, there's actually, I think there's a place in Reno, which is pretty close relative to where I am, that I remember seeing like advertisements for it, that there's like a VR like game place somewhere, like where you like, obviously I assume you can go and play VR games and stuff, and that's something that I kind of want to go and check out. But I know I want to go alone because I don't want to be that kind of weird guy that's like just going alone to go play video games.
Excuse me, sir, I'd like to play on VR, please.
Yeah.
Could I put the headset on?
So I'd rather just go with somebody.
I actually saw I don't know how new this is, but there's like these. I saw like a GIF on Reddit, and there was like these gloves for VR that you'd put on, and they were like haptic feedback gloves. So like, and like they would like resist you if you were holding something. So like some guy was holding a balloon, and like he was trying to squeeze it, and like it was like resisting him, so like he couldn't squeeze it away. And then once the balloon popped, his hand like went closed because he was like putting force on it, and then it popped and his hand like shut up. Because,
that shit is so cool to me. Just that idea.
Yeah, I think that combined with the VR goggles, and I think they have like the VR treadmills almost, where it's like like an octagon type thing, and like you strap in at the waist, and like you walk around.
Like waistband,
and
right?
They also have like the haptic. They also have the haptic like feedback vests too that you can put on.
Yeah, and it's like that shit's only getting more and more
curious.
crazy,
I'm just curious though, like, do you think it'll ever get to a point where like it'll make you feel pain, but like not enough to kill you? Do you ever think about that? I mean, like I
feel like that might be like like one of those like places where it's like this like extreme like studio has it set up to where it's like fuck it, you can actually feel pain. Like I feel like that's never gonna really like be implemented.
But I guess
into like full on society.
that kind of already exists because, like, if you go to Madame Tussauds in the UK, they have like a big Avengers and Marvel kind of exhibit, wax figures exhibit.
Yeah.
And there you can go into like an amphitheater, and you sit in a chair and they show you a movie. But it's one of those ones where like they blow wind on you and they splash you with water, and there's a bit where Wolverine sort of gets his claws out, and when they do that, like the seat you're in, I don't know what it is, but I guess it's like a ram of like 3 or 4 like really tiny kind of almost spikes, and they just jab you in the back, and it's really disconcerting because you're sitting there going, "Oh, Wolverine," and then he goes, and you're like, "Oh, jeez." You're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You get really
oh, it's like Shrek 4D.
Oh my god.
Wasn't
that the one where like he farted and you could smell it?
Yeah, Shrek 4D.
God.
Universal.
God. Jesus Christ. Oh
man. Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know how long we've really been rolling for, because it's kind of hard to tell now.
I want to bring up one more thing before we play the new version, the modified IMDb game that I have for us, since there's only 2 of you guys today. One thing I wanted to get to, though, and I kind of brought this up, but not on a podcast. So I'm in like some film classes, and one of the classes I'm in is business of film and television, right? Yeah. And the teacher for that class, he actually works at the BS&P department at CBS. And what that is it's the department that basically tells you what you can and can't say on the air. Like, so their job is to like go to like whenever show creators come up and they're like, all right, this is the script, and they submit it to them. They're like, okay, you can't say that, you can't show that, you can't do that. So that's his job, is he has to take scripts and he has to be like, all right, you change this, change that, change this, change that. We can't air that, we can't show that, you can't say that, all that sort of stuff. Another really weird rules, like it's like, oh, can I say asshole? Well, you can't say asshole, you can say ass, but you can't say the whole part. And all that sort of like weird stuff. Like that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Anyway,
hold on, can I interject with something real quick about that? I want to know.
Yeah.
And if you could ask him, that would be interesting. So if you say ass and then you wait like say, I don't know, 10 seconds and then you say hole, does that still count or what? Like what's the ruling on that? Now,
I think it honestly probably all depends on context.
Yeah.
I feel like if they see you trying to get away with that, they'll be like, no. So anyway, I don't know if you guys watch the Emmys or anything like that. Basically, one of the actresses, she won best actress ever. She comes up to get her award. The first thing she says is "fuck," right? And so like at the end of her speech, mom, I think she like who's in the audience, she calls her mom a motherfucking badass, like verbatim. And basically what his job was, because on a 15-second delay, so his job was he had to press the kill switch for the audio, and he did it both times. But I think by FCC standards and whatnot, so basically I think the penalty would have been $375,000 per infraction. So there were 2 infractions per affiliate station. So there's like hundreds across the country, and I think he did the math and he said he saved the studio about $10.5 million worth of FCC fines by hitting the kill switch on the audio.
Jesus.
That's crazy to me, but it's like that's a fuck ton of money that he just saved them, right?
I mean, I feel like at that point it's just like, I mean, just say the F word. Just let us say the F word. God damn it.
The reason it is, and I don't agree with it, but it's the reason is that like CBS is a public broadcast like station, so you get it. If you have like a satellite, you can get that. Like you don't need cable or anything like that to get that channels. It's like that's why. But
like,
I don't agree with it necessarily, but like that's the law that Congress has come up with, that like if it's on public broadcast, here are the fines for it. If you want your broadcasting, you have to agree to these terms. If you're on cable, like if you're on AMC or whatever, you can say whatever you want to. Like the only reason why AMC doesn't say like fuck ever is that's like their own their own studio, or that's like their own network standards. That's not like a law or anything for them.
It's weird. So like that the funny thing about that though is, so I think it was the first episode of Better Call Saul, right? He said the F word. They blurted out, or beeped it out or whatever. But he still said like the F word, which was I like it's one of those things where it's like, well, then why did he like they let him like even say it in the first place? It's like with those things, you know. Have you guys ever like seen movies on TV? Maybe not you, James, but Adam probably, where they show movies on TV, but they don't bleep out the bad words. They just replace them with something silly. Yeah,
they ADR them to something else. One of my favorite examples of that is Snakes on a Plane. When he says, "I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane" on TV. I love it when they do it like creatively and originally, because a lot of times they'll just say like "freaking" whatever, something stupid.
Yeah.
They changed that line to "I'm tired of these fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane." And that was my favorite example of almost better than the actual line in the movies. I have had it with the fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. And they brought Samuel L. Jackson into the booth to do 80 of that. It's just so great.
Yeah, that does happen occasionally over here, but I guess it's less noticeable, maybe? Or they just censor it beforehand, so like it doesn't you get noticed. The thing that bugs me is when they do that on music CDs.
Oh
so,
yeah,
like,
that's the worst shit.
I've got a music CD of like Kerrang's best like metal songs or whatever. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of compilation CD. And they've got Marilyn Manson's song, which I can never remember the name of, but it's the one which is associated with the Columbine thing, where he's like fight, fight, fight in the lyrics.
Yeah.
And there's a thing where he's like, I can't remember the specific lyric, but he's sort of like, a god who doesn't give a fuck or something. And what it does is it just goes, a god who doesn't give a... And I'm like, why did... There's like a 2-second, 3-second pause. It's so jarring when you're listening to that song. Especially if you're like me and you're in the car and you sing along to stuff like that, because I'm a giant idiot, so I like to sing along to like my song.
Aren't we all?
And I'm just sort of like, I'm getting really into it, and then I'm just like, because I can't really hear my own voice, because I don't want to hear my own singing voice. So I'm sort of like, and then suddenly there's just silence, so all I can hear is myself going, and I'm like, oh god, no, why? And then it comes back.
I used to have like an Eminem CD where they had that happen, and it's just like, there's no point. There's no point in even listening to it, because it's literally like, it gets bleeped out every like 10 seconds because he fucking curses like a sailor. What
makes it even more annoying, on the front of the CD, there's a sticker that says parental advisory, lyrics include swearing and stuff. Why cut it out then? You've got a sticker on the front of the CD.
James, think of the children. Think of the children. All right.
So, do we want to head into our IMDb game?
Yeah, we're winding down.
So the way the rules worked before was you'd either have to guess the best score, or the worst score, or the closest score to 5. That doesn't necessarily work. We can't guess closest to 5 or averages or anything like that with you guys. I guess we could do best or worst, but I'm changing it up a little bit.
Oh, snap.
So basically, what I'm gonna do here, I've got a coin. I got a quarter right here.
Oh,
right?
Snap.
See that? So basically, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna flip heads or tails. James, I want you to say heads or tails. Pick one.
Heads, please.
It was heads, so you're gonna go first. Or no, you can choose. Do you want to go first or second? But let me explain the rules to you first.
I don't know what the rules are, but sure.
Well, I'm trying to explain them to you. Hold on one second. So the rules. You're gonna be, if you choose to go right now, you're gonna pick a movie.
Okay, see ya.
Any movie you can think of. And then I'm gonna flip the coin again, and if it's heads, Kevin has to guess a movie that's higher rated on IMDb. If it's tails, he has to guess a movie that's lower rated on IMDb.
Ooh.
Some rules for this category: you cannot use any of the movies that are on the the AFI's 100 greatest films. You can't use anything from the top 10.
Okay.
The top 10 on that list.
I don't know what that is anyway, so you'll have to tell me.
Okay. The Godfather, Gone with the Wind, Lawrence of Arabia, Wizard of Oz, The Graduate, On the Waterfront, Schindler's List, and Singing in the Rain. You can't use any of those.
I probably wouldn't have chosen any of those anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but those are just gonna be rated high on IMDb by default. So, James, do you want Kevin to go first, or do you want yourself to go first here?
I'll go first. Let's see how this goes. I'll go first.
I dropped the quarter. All right. So pick a movie.
From what category? Anything or?
Anything. This is going to be an all out.
So I can choose any film from any category.
And it's going to be first two.
All right, I'm going to go with a comedy film, and I'm going to say Due Date.
Due Date?
Yeah.
Right, let me pull that up real quick.
Starring, I believe, Robert Downey Jr. and Zach
Yep.
Galifianakis, or whatever his name is.
All right, Kevin, I'm gonna flip this quarter.
Yeah.
If it lands heads, you have to guess the movie that's higher rated. Tails, you got to guess one that's lower rated. And I'm not gonna tell you the score of this one.
Do I have to stay within the genre, or can it be any movie outside?
It can be anything.
Okay.
All right. Here you go. And it landed heads. So you got to pick a movie that's rated higher than due date.
Okay.
Oh man, that's gonna be so easy.
I'm just gonna go with tried and true Aliens from
Aliens. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Come on, Aliens, you're so bad, please.
Mm-hmm.
No way, I'm losing. You're not losing.
Aliens.
Words.
Yep. Okay, well, that crushed it. So due date had a 6.6 and Aliens had an 8.4.
Yeah.
So,
6 is not bad though. I'm surprised it was as middle as that. I thought
All
it was
right.
gonna be low.
Kevin, it's
Okay.
your turn. Now you have to pick another movie, and then
All right.
James is gonna have to pick higher or lower, depending.
All right, I'm gonna pick My Bloody Valentine, the original.
Oh man, that's so
Alright,
coincidental.
that is
The first
1981.
ever time you played this game, and somebody chose that as a horror genre.
All
back
right,
when it was Rotten Tomatoes or whatever.
James? That was a bad flip. That landed like that didn't even flip once. So let me do that again. Heads. You have to pick something that's better than My Bloody Valentine, the original.
The original, okay. And it doesn't have to be the same genre, right? I can choose
No.
anything.
Right. It could be any genre, but it can't be Aliens or Due Date or My Bloody Valentine, the
It's
original.
gotta be higher. I'm gonna say Die Hard 1.
Die Hard.
The original Die Hard, the classic Christmas one.
Classic. Nakatomi Plaza.
Nakatomi Plaza. Now
So
I
not the
have
video
a machine
game, right?
gun.
Alright, well, James is going to take a point.
Yeah.
Hey,
Die
What are we-
Hard
what are we
had
playing to,
8.2.
by the
My
way?
Bloody Valentine had a 6.2.
Dang.
What?
What are we playing to?
2 points. So
Oh,
next
okay.
point wins.
next one wins it then, okay.
Actually, no, let's go 3. Because with 3 people here, this would take forever. But since it's just you two.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
So, James has
So
to
fair.
go first now.
James has a whole fucking wall of movies to fucking choose from.
I really do. Like, in case anyone
You
wasn't
have-
paying attention, every
You know
time it
movies,
starts,
Kevin.
I
I'm just
know.
doing this and looking at my DVD wall. I mean, essentially the task is to try and find something kind of middly, right?
I mean, and unless you go all out, you pick a great movie, and then all of a sudden Kevin can't beat it if it goes tails. Or if
that's
it goes
also
heads.
true. Yeah.
Or,
Oh, the
or you can pick a really shitty
I'm gonna
movie,
go,
and then if
I'm
it
gonna
goes,
go for an unusual film. I'm gonna go Battle Royale.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a goodie.
Battle Royale.
Hey,
Alright.
hang on a minute. Chat's telling me to cover my movie shelves. Go away, Gabe. No way. That's the only way I win this game.
All right, and Kevin, you are gonna have to pick a movie that is better than Battle Royale.
Ooh,
Let's
that's
see.
an interesting one.
Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that might take it here.
It's an interesting choice.
Spider-Man 2. No, not the Amazing
won't beat
Spider-Man 2.
No.
Yeah, it's been the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Ooh, James just edges up for point number 2.
Ah.
Battle Royale with a 7.7. Spider-Man 2 only had 7.3? Wow.
Well, that was
I thought that was going to be over
7.7,
8. All right, so
that's close.
if James gets one more point, it's over. If Kevin gets one more point, we go into elimination. Gabe, it's not
Son of
cheating that he
a-
has his movie wall. Kevin knows movies, okay?
It's okay.
You
Good.
just can't
Thanks for
the
looking
score
up.
of those movies on IMDb are. You can look up movies, just don't look up the score. Well, I actually don't look up movies on the internet either because the
Yeah.
score is going to be there. Anyway, Kevin, you're
Let's,
fine. All right, what could be the last round?
let's see. I'm gonna go with the Raid 2. I've said the Raid before, but this
Yeah,
is the
you
Raid
had that
2.
last time we played this game, I think.
Yeah, but this
You
is
know,
the
he didn't have the
2.
Raid 2, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Did he not?
Yeah.
I just had the
hang on, I'm
Raid.
trying to rack my brains trying to think what score that is. That's
All
pretty
right.
good, right?
Yeah,
And that
all right.
film was pretty good.
James,
Oh, boy.
that again didn't bounce. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I was about to
There we
answer,
go.
but I gotta wait to find out lower or higher, right?
Heads.
Wow, it's been heads every time.
That one, I know it's fucking an anomaly, but that one, that's why I didn't do it last time.
Okay, I'm immediately going to go here, Adam. I'm immediately going to go Sin City.
Sin City. All right. James wins this. It is over.
I don't know what
Sin
the raid
City.
2 would be at, but Sin City was a highly rated film.
Ooh, it is an exact tie.
Oh, shit.
Well, I guess we're gonna go with the rule we've had last time, which is each of you get a half point.
Okay.
So, 2.5 points for James, 1.5 for Kevin. Going into the next round, James, you go ahead.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Point Break, like the original with Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Not the remake.
I like how the remake showed up first, as if anybody cares about that. All right, Kevin, you are gonna be determining. I don't know. I just lost that quarter. All right, I have another one. Backup quarter.
Always be prepared.
Adam just jumps down a bag of quarters on the table. He's like, I've got some, don't worry.
All right. Tails! We've got our first Tails of the day.
Oh.
Point Break, the remake.
Oh, are you going for that?
Yep.
Is that your answer?
Yep.
Wow. I mean yeah, he's won that point. He's won that point. I've never seen Point Break the remake.
Kevin takes that point.
I was banking on that.
5.3 Point Break the remake. 7.2 Point Break the original. So
what was the remake ranked?
5.3.
Wow. Jeez.
All right.
Points below.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So my movie is The Room, starring Tommy Wiseau.
Oh my god.
Jeez, better hope nothing to base the potential thing on that. Alright, what have I got to get? Higher or lower?
Adam froze, I think.
Adam isn't.
Adam. Oh, there you go.
James.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, James. This is a Tails. You're gonna have to find something. I mean, I can't tell you what. What?
I don't know anything about The Room. I don't know if it's good or not. Something low. Low. I mean, I've got some bad films. There must be one on this wall somewhere that leaps out at me. Just Married with Ashton Kutcher.
Just Married with Ashton Kutcher. Just Married.
Kevin's like, I already know The Room is like a 1.0 or...
And the winner of LNDB for this week is Kevin.
Woo!
He picked
what was it at?
3.6. Just Married 5.4. Actually, that would have beaten the remake of Point Break.
Damn.
I'm surprised I got 5.4.
Anyways,
Kevin really gambled.
Yeah.
Kevin really gambled with that one.
I did.
He did. That was a bold tactic, and he
went low because if that had been heads, the game would be over essentially.
Yeah.
That's like the Hail Mary shot in the fourth quarter to get that final touchdown.
What I was really banking on was James say, because he said Point Break, and if I went for Tails, I'd be like, all right, I got this in the bag because I'll just say the remake because it's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, that was a real mistake on my part.
The other way where he was like, I'm gambling on this.
Yeah.
What you could have said to win that, this is just a recommended movie. You could have said Birdemic Shock and Terror.
That was my other choice, but I was like, maybe I should go with The Room though, just because I feel like
The Room's more like middle ground. So
yeah,
that's probably gonna do it for this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Kevin?
So we're gonna be wrapping up here right now. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast, please consider giving us a cheeky little like, and perhaps maybe subscribe. We're really close to our first goal of our sub run. Hey, I have that. I have one of those. Anyways, stop putting things in the camera while I'm doing the outro. So yeah, please. So go ahead and subscribe if you really enjoyed this podcast. We have a Twitter. Go follow us at thelimitednight.com to stay up to date with all of our stuff.
Ross is back. It's in the chat.
And
Ross.
hi, Ross. We're leaving, but hi. You can go to our Facebook page and at /thelimitednight and go ahead and like us there. And if you want to come and chat with us, lovely fellows, you can jump down to our Discord and go ahead and join the Discord, and we'll have a nice cheeky little chat. So yeah. So this is gonna be it. We'll see you guys next Friday at 9 p.m. GMT. Peace.
Bye.